Beautiful choice of music.
I know. Alright then, that was that. It's a very good choice of music. Alright, practice is about to end. And I want to welcome everyone to the second round of Trout League's Formula 3 series. Joining me in the commentary booth here is Jake Bond.
How you doing, everyone?
So, it's going to be an interesting one. What do you predict?
Well, we have a couple drivers out, a couple of the big drivers. So I think everything's up for grabs so far. I think we'll see. Hago's out, I think. His team had a little bit of a problem. They said they had a fire in the garage, and the cars burned down to the ground, so I hope we'll see him next round. But there's some good points up at the top now available. Maybe a couple podium spots up for grabs.
Oh yeah, definitely. Personally, I think due to some of the faster guys dropping out right at the end, this might be a clean sweep for the in-forward guys. But as we all know, it's Formula Trout. Anything can happen. Any of the midfield guys can grab a podium here. I think if shit hits
it comes
the
down to
fan.
this first corner, I think.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. If anyone gets spun around, it's a short race. It's a sprint race, so there's only 20 minutes. There's not much time to gain back. If you spin off, you're pretty much done, at least in these feeder series type of races. So it's main goal for everyone should be to get through the first corner and then take it from there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, people do seem to forget that these cars are they're very easy to drive, but they're very, as in, when you make a mistake, you lose a lot of time. That's the thing with these cars. So you need to be careful. And in about 25 seconds, we're gonna head into qualifying, which is gonna be 50 minutes. Then after that, it's gonna be two 20-minute sprint races.
Qualifying should be interesting here. They're posting some really good times. I think in the server practice, people are in the 19s, but Jack Smith right there at the end of practice just put in an 18.955. So that's going to be interesting to see if they can even get down to the mid 118s. Some people might be sandbagging here. So we'll kind of see ultimate pace as qualifying goes on, but that's some pretty fast lap times.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a lot of fast guys in this league. Looking at the P-Tracker lap times, the top 5 are within 2/10 of each other. So I'm predicting it's going to be a very close qualifying, and we're going to see. I think we're going to see a very close battle for pole position tonight.
On a track like Donington, that actually matters a lot. You can slipstream, but I think the defensive line, as long as you drive defensively, a lot of people aren't going to be getting past. So it's nothing like Australia, like in the hybrid series, but track position is everything. There is a little bit of a draft with the F3 cars, but it's not nearly as noticeable. So whoever keeps it smooth and starts up towards the front of the grid should be able to stay there. Granted, unless we have some dive bombs, things like that, out of the ordinary.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Looking back at the lap times, there was one driver that I'm really rooting for that Arto Nieminen, one of the Finnish drivers in the league. He has showed some good pace in practice earlier this week, so I hope he'll be able to challenge for a pole position tonight.
And that would give Mercedes Toro Rosso some good points. I know they're sitting a little bit back in the constructors. I think they're 5th. They're only a point behind multinational corporate conglomerate, and a couple more points behind Vermin for 3rd. See, Vermin's going to lose out a lot here because their drivers, I don't believe they have anyone in, or they're missing at least one driver. So, and Forward can really pull away here if they can get 2 podiums. They're already ahead by 9 points at the moment over Mercedes Motorsport.
Having some technical difficulties with the overlay on the stream. The ECTV is not coming up for some reason. Of course, it always happens when it's the real deal.
Okay, so we're missing Slava and Vermin. Jackson and Maxi are still in. Gotcha.
Does your ACTV work? The ACTV tower.
Give me a second.
Oh, there we go. Now
just need a
as
driver to
the
set a
first
time.
times are being put in, I can finally follow the drivers. Alright.
Wow, 118.968. That's a good start right off the bat. The track should
That is a
be
very
quicker.
good start. Yap did the same thing in Imola. His the first lap he set, I'm pretty sure he was not able to go faster after his first lap, but he was still good enough for, if I remember correctly, I think he was P5? Regardless, he was still a very strong lap.
That is, I mean, there's only 2 people right now in the 18s. I haven't seen anyone else post anything that competitive yet, but as the track starts to heat up, rubber gets laid down, we should see a couple more drivers at least get close, but wow, that's pretty impressive from Jap.
Yeah, he's already a 10th up on his previous best. But this
Jack
seems
right
like
now
there's
is
a bit of traffic in front of
2/10.
him. So let's see if we can go in faster. Can you see where the track grip is at right now?
Cannot.
It's in when you go into the pits, when you press escape, it should say on the left, I believe.
98%, so we're getting up there.
Yeah. I'm sure with this many drivers, few laps in, we might be in the high 99s already, so...
Wow, R2 just put in a 118.596 because Jack improved on his lap time. He was 2/10 up on his previous best. And then R2 comes in and sets, he's over a 10th ahead now.
Yeah, that was a very, very strong lap from Arto Nieminen. Early in the week, I've seen people...
Somebody's gone off.
Oh yeah, I've seen a couple of cars go wide. Donington, it's one of those tracks where you don't have any runoff areas, so if you go off, you're either on the grass or you're on the gravel, so you've got to keep it within the limits, otherwise you're going off. Especially I've driven these cars quite a few times. When you go on the grass, the car just wants to go. Like there's nothing you can do about it, so...
Yeah, I guess it's down to aero balance too as well. These cars are a little bit finicky with that. They're not stable like the hybrids. It's all about being smooth and precise with your driving, and it can happen when you're behind another car and you're real close, you get a little bit of a draft, and you just brake a little bit later. You can easily just snap steer off to the side, and this track is not very forgiving with gravel traps. It can really just get in the way of your flow, and you can easily fall down the order pretty quickly. We're
on board with Arto Nieminen. He's half a second down on his time already. He's had a bit of an overstay moment going out of turn 1. Let's see if we can find any of that time back on the rest of his lap. Well, Alex Corcoran is he stuck in the gravel pit?
I believe so. I just have looked down and he's not moving down there. He's just spinning his tires.
Seems like he's been stuck there for quite a while. And as we know, it's stated in the rules, if you do back out, if you back out back in the pits using the menu, the escape menu, you're not allowed to go back out. So if Alex cannot go out, he's done.
He's burning it up right now in the gravel pit. He's not moving. That is a very bad situation to be in.
Does he have a teammate?
He does, I believe. Quizno is his teammate. He's going to need him to push him out or bump him out, but you're risking getting 2 cars stuck in the pits there.
That is true.
Or setting into the gravel. It's very risky. They're going to have to decide whether it's worth the risk to save a driver.
Yeah, gravel traps in this game, they're dangerous. I remember in Imola, I believe it was David Bull, I believe. Right at the start of race 1, he got hit off in turn 2, and he got stuck on the gravel, which is very unfortunate. I hope it doesn't happen to anyone in this race.
Looking back, wow, they're already into the 18.5s. They were not messing around. I was hoping pole time was going to be around there. That's what I was predicting. But, I mean, as the track gets better and better, we've got a track temp of 23 degrees. Should be a little bit more grip out there for whoever can get the final laps in. If they time their pit exit right and their warm-up lap right, they might be able to get across the line and get a good time.
Currently, Jack Smith is 2/10 up on his previous best. And if he manages to complete this lap without losing any time, he's going to be on pole. Looking like a very good lap so far. He's just found another 10th through that hairpin. So he's 3/10 up. Let's see if
he's flying right now.
Yeah, he's in a very good lap. I believe the track grip, it's either 99 or it's either very close to 100 or 99.
Wow,
that's a very good lap.
Just an amazing lap.
Yeah.
Him and Clank, they all just set 1:18.2s.
Like I said, I expected this very close qualifying between these guys. They're all very fast around this track. Even though I believe I saw Urmas Rees early in the week saying that he's not very confident, he hasn't driven this track before. So I must say, like, first time driving this track, it's a very good performance from him.
He's a strong driver though, anything he's got to give. Oh, somebody's gone off towards the wall. Who could that be?
Can you tell who that is? I see him from Jack Smith. That's Philip. That's Philip.
He's back on now. He was heading straight towards the wall.
Yeah.
He saved it. Ooh, that was a close call.
Very good save from him. Yeah, it's very good that he managed to avoid the gravel trap as well. Alex is still sitting there. He's still sitting there. I don't know what he's waiting for.
His teammates out there setting laps.
And Urmas improves again. 1:18 dead. That's a very good lap.
We're coming down to 5 minutes left in the session here. If anyone's going to want to improve, they're going to have to start thinking about how they're going to do it and when they're going to leave the pits. There's quite a bit of people out on track right now. I don't know how many people are planning to come back in to go for another run, but I don't know if Jack or Clank can get another 2/10 out of what they've already got. That's a very impressive time there by Urmas. If someone gets into the 17s,
find another half a second, puts himself up to P6. There's quite a gap between the midfield drivers and the top drivers currently.
Yeah, it looks like everyone in the front is about within half a second, and then you've got another half a second back once you get to Sammy and everyone down below. It should make interesting. I mean, there's only a 20-minute race here around Donington, and it's quite a long track. It's obviously 1 minute and 18 seconds around for a lap. I don't expect traffic to be really a factor unless a couple of people go off and need to pit.
Yeah. Any surprises so far?
Jans, I was expecting him. He's at a 1:19.7. I don't know if that's his pace or if if he's just had a little bit of a hiccup here or there, he's gone off somewhere and his time isn't representative, but he's normally a very, very strong driver, and he had a pretty good result, I believe, last time out.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody's gone. Somebody's just
he
spun
had a
out.
very good debut in the hybrid series as well. That's Artur Nieminen off the track there.
And Sammy's gone off as well. Oh, he's just impeded Tim Draper's lap. I don't know if that was a flyer. It was. I don't know if Tim was improving on his time there, but Sammy was coming around the final corner and just went a little bit wide. He might have a steward's inquiry about that one. So we've got 3 minutes left. It's turned into a shootout here.
Yeah, Jack Smith only a 10th down. Still last sector to go. Can he find any time? Still losing time.
So it's Ormus by 2/10, and then everyone, like the top three, are real close, and then you've got another little bit of a step down to 4th and 5th. I believe a couple of these guys down towards the back, there's a little bit more time they can find. I just don't know if with traffic if they've been able to set a representative time yet, but they're running close. I mean, we're coming down to the 2-minute warning here. Everyone's been clean so far. There's only been a couple people who have gone off, even though it is an unforgiving track.
Tim Draper and Philip Ohl both improve. 6th and 7th. Never mind, Martin improves as well. So Martin's 6th. Tim Draper and Philip Ohl 7th and 8th. Orms Rees still on a good lap. Still matching his time. Almost half a second up. Still a chicane and a couple of hairpins to go. Can he improve? He's right on the limit. He's a 10th up.
A couple of drivers are just now leaving the pits. They're really going to cut this close if they want to go for another lap. They're going to need to push on their out lap, and I don't know if that's the right strategy here if they're trying to get the best lap right at the end of the session. Their tires are going to be a little hot.
He backs down. He backs down from his lap. He was a 10th up. He was a 10th up, but he backs down. He's
Jack is currently 2/10.
Go.
Jack might have pole here. He's 2.5 down.
Yeah, he's 2.5 up. He's 2.5 up.
Oh, but
and that's a pretty good exit. He's 3/10. And that's the first time in the 17s. A 17.9. That's a very strong lap.
Oh, and Clank Hughes would have had it as well. He lost about 3/10 there on that final corner. He braked a little bit late. He would have had Jack there, but just it's those little mistakes when you're just trying to get every little thing out of the car right there at the end. You can make it or break it all in one corner. The flying fin R2 comes in.
Yeah, slots in the P4 with that 18.1. That's a very good time as well. Top 4 being within 2/10 of each other right now.
Ormus is a 10th up right now. He's getting close.
Yeah,
to the line here.
It's looking like a similar lap as before, but for some reason he backed down after the hairpin. Let's see, he's still 2/10 up. This could be it. It's looking like a very good lap. Only one hairpin to go. And that's a very... Oh, he's losing a little bit of time, but that should still be pole position. And that is with the 17.8.
He's gone up.
That's very strong. Let's see.
That was a really
Jack
good try
Smith,
there by Jack.
He's done.
Martin is currently half a second up on his lap.
On a lap. He's matching his time. Can he find 3/10s in the last couple of corners?
Martin might be able to get R2 for 5th here. Oh no, there's been an accident. Oh no, there's been an accident on the last corner. Philip Ohl and who else was that involved? But
Clank Hughes. Clank Hughes. He's in the wall.
He's been it. Martin was half a second up. That would have been P5 for him. And he came around the corner and there was just, I don't know whether that was contact or if Clank just kind of lost it a bit, but Wow, that was dramatic there when qualifying.
Yeah, I'm sweating already. That was very close. Again, top four being they're within 3/10 of each other. Like how close can you get? It's a very strong qualifying, but as we can see, the gaps are quite big as soon as you get out of the top five. Or the gap to first. So I think we're going to see a lot of traffic. Wormus is definitely going to see a lot of traffic on this track, I think, with the slower drivers being in the 19s.
Around a 1 minute 20 lap, yeah, I could see it if there's not a good good first corner. It all comes down to that. There's a couple drivers that had their laps impeded there at the end, so I think some of the faster guys might be a little bit further back, and that could make things interesting coming in the first few laps because they're going to be aggressive. It's only a 20-minute race, so they're going to have to make moves pretty quickly if they want to get up the order and get some points.
Yeah, indeed. I must say though, I was expecting more from the in-forward guys, but still, that's a very strong result, getting all of the three cars into top six. So it's still a very good performance from the team.
Yeah, they were just spoiled by Jack Smith. Jack Smith was in the 117.9s. I was not expecting him to be that high up there. He was challenging Urmas, and everyone knows how quality of a driver Urmas can be. So here we go.
Now, as we head into race one, I'm going to try and get the camera positioned right.
And here we go. Lights going out here. Round 2 of Trout League. It's a pretty clean start from everyone here. Urmas protects. The top three have made it through unscathed.
Yeah, it's looking like.
Oh, and Jack Smith lost it. Jack Smith has lost it. He's spun on the curve.
Oh, that's very unfortunate.
Clank Hughes is down there too as well.
Oh, there's three cars going over the grass. But
wow.
Other than that, there was fairly clean turn one. It's very unfortunate for Jack Smith. He had such a good qualifying. Now he's down to, what is that, P16?
Yes, he's far down there. He's back in 15th. He's got a lot of ground to make up. R2 has a little bit of a run going here on Jap for second. Wow, that was him and Clank Hughes. Clank has fallen to the back of the field as well.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate. Two of the fastest drivers. Again, did you see, was it contact between them two?
No, I don't believe. I think Jack just lost it and Clank was trying to avoid the accident. And they both just kind of went around. It was amazing that neither of them got hit though. They spun around right in the middle of the track.
Yeah, both of the Toto Rosso cars, they're loving this right now. Both gaining positions.
Maxi and Martin were in a little bit of a fight there. They once passed each other back and forth, and then each of them got a little bit loose. So that's a fight to watch out for. They seem to have similar pace as we keep up with Jack moving through the field, and he's gone off again. Oh, Jack Smith has crashed. He's in the wall.
Oh, yeah, that's. Oh, did you see what happened?
He just lost it. He was going for a pass, and he's gone. He's binned it. He's stuck. He's out of the race.
It could possibly be the damage. He might have gotten some damage from the incident earlier, so that might have affected him. Yeah, and that's very unfortunate. Getting stuck in the gravel pit. That's something I hope that wouldn't happen to any of the drivers in this race. That must be so frustrating, qualifying in P2 and then ending up in the gravel trap.
And he was making very good progress through the field. I was watching his times, and he was just working his way back up. Clank is still at the bottom of the field, and Jack was still moving his way up, and he got a little bit aggressive, and I think he just, over pushed it.
So we're seeing a big fight in the midfield. There's about 6 cars are fighting for, is that P7 right now? Everyone's very close to each other.
And they've got to keep it clean here. Someone's gone off.
Cars. I think that's Alex Cochran. Going a bit wide in turn 1.
Stefano has gone off. He's dropped a position. And he's lost it. Stefano is off. And can he keep the car going? Can he get out of the gravel? And he's good. He's coming back onto the track.
Yeah, you always need to remember, you never want to stop in the gravel pit. You always want to keep the car rolling, otherwise you get stuck in it. That's very, very good from Stefano, regardless of losing it there.
This midfield fight is very intense. I'm keeping track up here at the front. Everything looks kind of orderly. The top 5, top 6, nothing's really happening.
Wormus has already pulled a 1.5 second gap to Yab, so very solid performance from Wormus again.
The top 3 are starting to pull away a little bit here. They're just off in a league in their own. Ormas with a 118.6, pulling 2/10 on Yab and R2. Wondering if anyone can push him for the full stint of 20 minutes. Ormas already has a win this season. I believe he won the first or second sprint race at Imola. So he's off to a strong start this season. They could definitely use the points.
Yeah. He finished first in the first sprint race and second in the second one. He had in the first race, I believe he qualified on pole, or he might have qualified P2, but he got lead in turn 1, and he.
Oh, that was an audacious move there. Jans is having a fight right now for P11 between him and Philip.
Yeah, it's you don't get a lot of overtaking opportunities on this track. At least when you do, it's never safe. There's never. If
Jans has a very good run here. Sorry to interrupt. He's got a very good run on Philip. He's going to take the inside line here going into this chicane. I think he's not going to be able to pull it off. He's gotten close.
Yeah. That's the thing. If both of the drivers commit into that chicane, there's going to be problems. Oh.
David J. Bull and Paul Magzar.
I'm not sure what just happened to Jannis van Dijk, but completely missed his braking point and almost took out Philip.
Oh, he's dropped down a few positions. He started out up in the midfield, I believe. It's not a good race. He'll want to forget. Philip has a run on Alex on the outside right now. Alex Cochran trying to defend here, going through the first corner. This midfield fight is very spicy tonight.
Yeah, that's kind of how it has looked like in the previous race as well. The fastest guys, they kind of run their own race, while the real fight is in the midfield. That's where they're really fighting for the points. It's Philip and oh, there's a slight tap from the DAC car from Alex Cochran, and Philip all goes wide onto the grass.
This midfield cannot keep themselves contained.
Philip just lost it. Oh, and he just collected.
Oh no, there's an accident there as well.
And he collected Nick Wu with him. That's very unfortunate. Philip all touched the grass slightly, lost control of the car.
And Nick's car is done. They're both done. I believe they're both going to have to retire from this race.
Oh yeah, it looks like Nick's suspension.
Oh, R2's trying to move on the outside of Jap for second place here. He's had a good run. He's got the draft.
Right, this is looking very good for Artur Nieminen. If he can just follow Yab close enough, he's going to have a very good chance to overtake going into the chicane.
Clank Hughes and David J. Bull have gone back and forth here. Clank gaining a position.
Let's see if Arthur can get a good exit. It looks alright, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
This is a very bold overtaking spot right here where they just went through that chicane.
Yeah, there's no space for two cars, and it's just
no, so you have to be very late on the brakes.
Like I said,
he's very good through this section. He gains a lot on Yap. Like he'll try again, I believe, here in this first corner. He might have a good run. He takes that a lot more inside there.
Yeah. It looks like he likes to run a bit wider going through the last corner.
And this is all good for Ormus. He's just driving off. He's not having to defend. He's got clean air ahead of him.
3-second gap to P2.
Exactly. He's just able to drive off into the distance. This is exactly what he wanted.
Ooh. Need to be careful.
So Clank is on a recovery drive right now. He's up to 8th. I know we've had a few retirements, but that's still pretty impressive making his way through the midfield. He's still got another couple seconds to gain on the next guy in front of him, but I'm curious how far he can get up.
Retirement. Sorry.
He's retired. I saw him in the pits.
Yeah.
I believe Nick made it back to the pits. He's a lap down, but he has not retired from the race, which is good to hear.
Yeah, we need to remember there is still a second race to go, and if Nick manages to get P10, that is reverse pole, so there is still something he can fight for.
There's been a pass between David J. Bull. He's just lost a position there to Sammy.
Clean overtake into the hairpin. Let's see if David J. Bull, if he can come back from this and have a good run on Sami Salam on the start-finish straight. But it doesn't look like it. Halfway through the race, 10 minutes to go. It looks like the gaps are... the cars are kind of evenly spread out now.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Ormus is he's just cruising up there, so I believe he might have race
Clank
number
Hughes
1.
is off. He's off.
He's making gravel. Such good progress.
I'm not sure what happened. He's trying to get out of the gravel. That is very unfortunate. He lost a lot of positions there. That's gonna hurt.
Tell you what, Maxi is in 5th now. He's moved up a position. He's moving up. He's
please take a look at Clank Hughes. I think his car is broken. I think he's out of the race.
It looks like it.
I think his suspension's gone.
Oh no, this is a nightmare for Clank Hughes this race.
Oh, that is very unfortunate as he retires out of the race.
That's the last thing. This was Infowars' time to gain as many points as they could this race. And
I mean, there's still hope.
No.
Yap is still in P2. Martin is in P6. They could still get good points out of this, and there's still a second race to go.
Maxi right now being the hope for Vermin. If he can get 4th, that's a decent points haul.
Yeah,
it's their sole man they're relying on right now.
Yeah, P3 is looking very unlikely for these guys, as the gap from P4 to P3 is 6.5 seconds. But you never know. You never know. There's still 8 minutes to go in the race. Anything can happen.
And everything has happened this race. It's been unreal. The accidents, the battles that we've had, it's definitely produced some great racing.
Yeah, it's always, Trout League, it's always packed with action. There's never a boring race. With people being so close to each other, pace-wise, you just can't get away from it. There's going to be a lot of action, which is good.
I like how there's not a lot of runoff areas too, because it really penalizes you for any mistake you may make. And it was designed this way. It's a very old track. I think it's the oldest track in Britain from back in the 30s. So they really didn't design it with anything certain in mind, and I think it gives us an exciting race all around.
Yeah, especially if you look back at Imola, there were a lot of people complaining about people extending. There were quite a few places where you could extend and cut corners, but it's not really possible around here. If you extend or if you cut a corner a bit too much, you're going to be on the grass. And I do like that about this track. It does make it a bit difficult for the drivers, but I think it's good for the racing.
Definitely, and that's what matters. It's not about what the drivers want. Racing and entertainment always comes first in motorsport, so the drivers are...
Arto in P3, he's right up on Yap, right in his gearbox, going side by side in the last corner.
Is he gonna... He might do a switchback here. Oh, but that was a good exit there by Yap.
He's going to have a really good run going into turn 1, I think.
This draft has been strong, but he can't get it done.
It could also be a difference in the downforce levels. It could just be that Yap is running a lower wing than Arton. Maybe that's why it's so easy for Nieminen to stay so close to Yap in these corners, but so hard to overtake on the straights. Maybe he just doesn't have that top speed.
And that's the sacrifice you make with setups. So many drivers prefer different styles. They go one way or another, and I believe that it shows in these feeder series, especially in the F3 cars, just how much setup work can get you somewhere and your understanding of the car. Yeah. But it all comes down to preference. I mean, like, yeah, R2's, it looks like he might be running more rear wing, and he cannot. Oh, he's got a good run here though. Oh, he's just
a bit of oversteer there, a bit of oversteer.
That's going to hurt his chances here as we're coming into 5 minutes left.
Just looking at him follow Yap on the straight, he's not gaining anything from the slipstream, which makes me believe he's running higher downforce. Now let's see if you can get a good run on Yap on this.
See, Yap is just good in that last corner. He pulls a little bit of a gap. Almost just with a 1:18.4 fastest lap of the race. He's just gone.
1:18.4, that's... that'd be a good lap in qualifying as well. Very good lap.
There was only, I think, 6 drivers that went underneath a 0.5 and 18.5. So this has been an eventful race. I mean, we still have a whole nother sprint race after this to go.
Yeah, very good so far. P4 and P5 and P6 still very close to each other. Anything can happen. Anyone can grab that P4 still.
Maxi looks like he's been stuck in this half a second to 8/10 delta where he can't, he'll get close by the end of the lap, and then he can't keep through sector 1. It looks like he's losing a bit of time.
He might be running the similar problem as Nieminen. Maybe he's running more downforce compared to Tim Draper, that he's just not able to get close enough on the straights to try and go for an overtake. You can see how much he gains through the chicane. Ooh, a bit of oversteer there.
We've only got 10 drivers on the lead lap in this first race. We've lost pretty much half the field, it seems like.
I believe we have had 5 retirements so far.
R2's got a good run here into turn 1. He's got a very good chance to make this pass.
He's right on Yap's gearbox. He's going to try and go around the outside going into turn 1. He's being very cautious with it though. He's being very cautious with it. He could have been a bit more aggressive there. But again,
and they're fighting very respectfully here. They're definitely giving each other the space.
Yeah, the thing is, because of how the track is, if you do end up taking each other out, you're going to lose a lot of time. You're going to go in the grass. You could possibly get stuck on gravel. You never know. It's not easy.
And Yap wants to hold this position because Forward can get some very good points here this race with one of their main title rivals not having any drivers in this race due to
again very good exit from Nieminen. He's going to try and go for an overtake on the chicane, but
he's very quick through here though. He's still on his gearbox. He's using much more of the track.
Yeah, he's had a little bit of very wide. I think generally you do want to stay as far to left as possible, but I think Yab is just trying to be cautious. He doesn't want to open the door for Nieminen because he could just lunge it in there. You never know. Both getting a bit of oversteer.
Yap had a little bit of a lockup there. We'll see if he's dealing with any tire temp problems. These cars aren't typically that sensitive, but that could, if he's locked up a few times, that might be getting irritating to him.
Yeah, especially like with now the cars are running fairly low fuel and he used up tires, so it's very easy to lose the car going such high speeds through these corners now.
The fight for 5th or 4th, I believe, is still on. We've got all of them just in a large train here from 4th through 6th. None of them have been able to make any progress. Martin looks like he's gotten a little bit closer to Maxi. That position would be good for Forward to get some valuable points.
Yeah, if Martin gets a good exit from here, he could put... Oh! And he gets a lot of oversteering, goes onto the grass. Manages to keep the car together, doesn't spin out, but loses a lot of time.
I believe he's just going to have to settle for 6th here at this point.
Yeah.
He's far ahead of 7th. There's no need to worry.
P7 20 seconds behind, so he's not going to have to worry about that. Still, that's just unfortunate.
And on with the leader, Ormus is just cruising off in the distance. He's now got a 5-second lead as they're fighting for P2 right now, which is still going on. They've been going at it for the last 6 or 7 laps here.
Yeah, Niemann is really struggling. I'm wondering if he's looking into changing his downforce level for the second race, or if he's just gonna.
He might have to, because I mean, if he's in the lead, I believe his strategy works perfectly fine as he goes a little bit wide there. But when you're just stuck behind traffic on this track, you need to have the straight line speed, because there's nowhere to really pass even in the corners. Like, look, he's all over this gearbox here. But
yeah. Like I said, he's faster than Yap through the corners, but it's the straights that matter.
And as Yap just pulls away here, this was a smart move by Yap to go with that setup, knowing that there's a little bit of a straight that he can defend himself on. R2's very quick through this section though, and he just kind of claws back a little bit of time, but it's just not enough to make a good run. Even if he were to dive bomb, he just can't get it done. Maxi is really close to Tim now as well for P4.
Yeah, and he's gonna have to do it. He's gonna have to do it now. I don't think he might have one more chance after this. Then it's all over. Still
Maxi
P3.
Is very close.
Still P3. So the leader is in a final lap. So it almost has. Okay, so it's a final lap for everyone. So Neiman has to get it done now if he wants that P2 position.
Oh, and Tim's gone off. Tim Draper has gone off, and Maxi takes P4. He just lost it going outside of turn 1 on the defense.
Oh,
there's no contact, but
it's very unfortunate.
Martin
gains a position as well. Martin gains a position, Phil. So that's P5 for Martin. That's very unfortunate for Tim Draper, as he was looking very strong. He was very consistent, not making mistakes, keeping his position. Maxi he got close a couple of times, but he didn't let the pressure crack him. So it's a very good performance from him. Just unfortunate, but that's just how it is.
He was pushing a little bit hard. Maxi was closer on that lap than others, and he went a little bit deep. And when he turned, we'll have to ask him after the race if we can get in contact with him. What ended up happening there, because he was holding off Maxi very well as Ormus comes around the final corner to take race number 1. Crosses the line, 6.5 seconds ahead. Yap holds on to 2nd, even though valiant effort there by R2. He gave it his all. He might have to change a few downforce settings for the next race. Maxi, on the last lap, gets P4. Very good points there for Vermin, as Martin recovers from his little moment to P5. So that is your top 5. Some good points there, as Tim, who was holding on to P4, falls to 6th.
That was a very exciting first race, I must say. So it is looking like, oh, Stefano
has spun around, yes.
Out. Has he finished the race yet?
He has not. He's about a lap down.
But considering the car behind him is miles away, he will be on pole for race 2. So that's very good for Dak.
Wow, that was eventful. My heart just goes out for Tim there.
Yeah.
He
Still.
lost 2 positions there on the last lap. He was holding himself so well.
Yeah, both of the Toro Rosso drivers showing some good performance, both being very consistent, showing good pace. But yeah, like you said, just very unfortunate on the last lap. You just do a small mistake and you lose a couple of positions because of that. That has to be very frustrating.
Race number 2. Oh, I don't know if my heart's ready for this. This could be interesting because we lost Jack, we lost Clank, we lost so many top drivers there in the first few laps that I feel like we were almost denied another fight somewhere in the mix.
Hopefully they'll have a lot more luck in the second race. And the grid order, the top 10, it hasn't changed yet. It's still showing the old grid order. It's the same for you.
It is. So we shall see here as soon as everything gets sorted out.
The grid order for the second race should be Stefano starting in P1 with David Chapel starting P2, Jannis van Dijk P3, Sami Salem P4, Tim Draper in P5 if I'm not mistaken, Martin in P6, Maximilian Junger in P7, Nieminen in P8, Jaap in P9 and Urmas Rees P10.
Urmas with a 1:18.4, that is his best lap that race. That was very quick. That really sets the tone for the second race.
Yeah, but looking at the fastest lap times, Urmas, Jaap and Arthur Nieminen being the only drivers to get into the 18s. Again, only 2:10s within each other with the fastest laps. So the top three, they have potential. All of them have potential to win a race. They just need to get into their position. And there we go. The grid is now sorted with Stefano starting P1. Well, what do you predict? Is it going to be the same as Imola, where Urmas just slices through the field and gets
He's
back
very
in the podium
good
position?
in everything he competes in. He's very good at slicing through the field. We've seen it in Imola. We saw it when he raced in Formula Hybrids through Australia. He's just a force through the field. He's very good at timing when he wants to pass. So we'll see. I mean, we've seen a lot of drivers mess up here in turn 1, so don't count him out if he might get caught up in something. No commentator's curse or anything, but
yeah, we do need to remember the people in front of me are Jaap, Nieminen, Maximilian Junger, Martin, are all fast drivers, so they're definitely not going to give him any easy time, so it's going to be exciting. See what happens.
Lights out and away we go. Everyone seems to get a decent start here, and somebody's gone off there. Lost a few positions. Relatively clean and tidy so far. Somebody has gone off into the grass. Stefano has fallen to the bottom of the field.
So Jannis van Dijk, he's leading the race currently. It's a very good start from him. Fantastic.
Maxi's gone up to P3 for Vermin.
It's like someone has been...
Oh, there's been a massive accident. R2 is out. He's in the wall.
Martin's
out. He's
out.
To the back of the field.
Oh no, that's... Oh.
That's not what he needed. He's trying to get back onto the track after such a strong showing. It looked like there was contact there between him and someone else. Once we get a replay, we'll be able to confirm who that was. I'd like to talk to him after the race and give us his side of things. It is just wild back there right now from 9th to 13th. Everyone's just going through too wide through the hairpins.
It was a fantastic start from Jannis van Dijk and Maximilian Junger, the P1 and P2. Oh, I think we have our first retirement. Nieminen, he's out.
He's gone out of the race. Oof, that is not what he needed.
That is very unfortunate. He was a very...
Ormus is under pressure here from Alex Cochran. He's trying to defend. Oh, and Alex has just gone in a little bit too hard.
Yeah, I believe Ormus just overtook him, so that's why Alex was right on his gearbox. Now he's lost a bit of time, and Max Zire just flies through.
It's through, yes.
Yeah.
Of course, Ormus and Max Zire teammates in hybrid, making their way through the field together as well in the F3 series. Maxi staying within a second here of Jan's up at the front. We'll see how long that lasts.
Sammy, he's very close to Maxi as well. Only a couple of tenths behind. This could get very interesting. It's Jack Smith, he's right up on Yap's gearbox going into the last corner. Let's see if he can get a good run.
Jack really needs to have a good race after his retirement from the last one, especially being able to having the pace to start P2.
Looks like Tim Draper might be slowing them down a little bit.
Yeah, the top four are sticking together. They're starting to pull away into their own little... As Martin goes a little bit wide. Yeah, he's lost a little bit of time now. And you know, this might be a problem for Martin because he's a little bit off on his own here. He's not going to have a draft from anyone. He's just going to be losing a little bit of time from these top guys who are just able to use each other going throughout the track. He's going to lose a lot of time on the straights, so he might get stuck in no man's land if he doesn't pull something out of the bag.
Jack Smith is still very close to Yap. Yap is very close to Tim Draper. It's a very close fight for P5 currently. Oh, it looks like Yap going side by side with Tim Draper. Both heading into the last corner. Jack Smith is waiting for an opportunity.
Maxi can get close to Jan's up for first, but he just can't get the move done.
This is very close between Yap and Jack Smith. Almost having contact there. That's the good thing about these cars. They allow you to have very close racing. That's the thing I enjoy. Oh, I think there's a small tap there. Nothing major. Jack Smith keeps
Sammy's
together.
getting very close to Maxi up here. He's backed off a little bit, but he's definitely got
Jack
the
Smith
pace
going on
here.
an overtake on Yap around outside this
They've
contact.
touched. They've gone into the wall. Jack Smith again.
I hope they don't get stuck. Jack Smith, he keeps going, but
Jack.
They both get out. They both get out, but that's
Oh no, that was an audacious
so unfortunate.
move.
I think they're both right at the back.
I can see why he tried, but this part of me didn't think that was ever going to stick.
Yeah, Yab got a very bad exit, which allowed Jack Smith to go over an overtake. That's such a dangerous corner. Like I said,
it was bold.
Yeah,
and he
was very bold.
I think he had the pressure from the first race on him. He knew he needed to make positions up. And I think he just went in a little bit too hot. I'm sure the stewards will have a
While we
look.
say this, Maximilian Junger, he's trying to go for an overtake on Sammy Salem going into turn 1.
Well, he's lost that position. I believe he's just trying to defend. Maxi was ahead last lap. Like I said, Sammy has had the pace. As Martin comes in, he's making an appearance.
Giannis just made a small mistake, so he's going very slow right now. Bit of a bottleneck for these guys now. I hope they don't do the same thing Jack Smith did. Don't like it. Oh, Maximilian had a look. He thought he could stick his car into there, but thankfully slowed down enough that there was not any contact.
This is definitely nail biting. Martin backed off a little bit. I think he thought Maxi and Sammy might have had a collision, and he slammed on the brakes, and he's lost a little bit of time. But it was probably the bold move to make that decision, just in case, as we've seen a lot of drivers here have made some contact.
Ooh, getting very, very close. Max is getting very close to Sammy Salem there. He's trying to brake really late. and gain as much.
They're very close in pace. These top 4 guys are very close in pace. As Ormus is making his way up there, the more these guys fight up front, Ormus is loving it. I'm sure he's licking his chops right now. He just wants all of them to start passing each other, at least taking time out, so he can make an appearance. He just sets a 1:18.6, which is 2 seconds faster than the guys in the top 4 at the moment. So he's loving it.
I mean, we need to remember that the gap to P1 is only a few seconds, so.
And we still got 13 minutes left in this second sprint race here.
Yeah, sometimes you just, even if you think you can overtake the car in front, sometimes it's better just to settle down, just let the car in front just get back up to pace.
This is very,
and just kind of work together. Even if you're not in the same team, you just want to work together because you know there's a guy like Ormus behind you. Just
Sammy and Jan's touched a little bit. Maxi's going for an outside overtake on Sammy here, and he's not going to be able to make it stick.
Oh, but it looks like Martin. Oh, and Martin goes straight through in the P2.
Sammy, wow, a lot of change of events there. So it looks like Sammy lost it on exit, and then Maxi lost it a little bit in the middle of that corner, and Martin just sneaks through and picks up.
Yeah, that was very good from Martin. He was, but that's the thing with Martin. He's very experienced. He never goes for any bold moves. He always waits. He knows if you're being too aggressive, things like that happen. So he's waiting there, just waiting to capitalize on stuff like that. And now he did. And he's up to P2 now. That's very good for in forward.
Look who's joined the party. Look who just passed Sammy for P5. He's coming back up through the field.
Yeah,
and that is definitely not what they needed.
Yeah, like I said, he's only a few seconds behind P1. You do a mistake, he's on a gearbox.
From 5 seconds down to 3.5. So this is very good for Ormus.
Yeah, and we're only 9 minutes into the race. There's still 11 minutes left in the race, and he's already that close to P1. So it's these drivers need to make a decision. Do they want to fight for a P2 or P3, or do they just want to just not lose more time than they have to? Because you know that there's a Ormus is right behind them, just waiting. As Team Draper does a mistake, Ormus gets really close.
A little bit wide there.
Yeah, I think Team Draper kind of threw him off there, as he goes with a bit of a lunge on the inside and manages to
take the position there.
Yeah.
This is very close here. 4th through about 7th. They're just in one train right now. Clank is trying to make a move here on Tim. Tim Draper's losing a few positions here. And forward can get this position. They'll be sitting pretty in terms of constructors. But Jan's, you know, he's kept his head in there. He's still a second up on Martin. He's kept it clean out of all these guys in the front. As Sammy, he wants a piece of Ormus, but I don't know if he's going to get it. Oh, and Stefano's gone off into the wall. He was 22 seconds down.
Oh, and Sammy Salam just goes, he gets a bit of oversteer out of the chicane, goes in the grass. Looks like he just lost 3 positions there. He's down to P8 now. It's very unfortunate. It looks like a lot of people are struggling with oversteer out of that chicane. As Philip also capitalizes on this and overtakes him going into the last corner. Salam now down to P9.
So we haven't lost anybody but R2 so far. Stefano was able to get out of the gravel trap there after almost putting it into the wall. So this race has been, it's been crazy, but it's been a little bit more clean in terms of a few things.
Yeah, definitely less retirement. That's a good thing.
But it's still been just chaos. I mean, we've had a couple bits of big contact.
Yeah, it's always with that reversed grid when you have the faster cars behind the slower drivers. It always creates a lot of chaos and a lot of good action as well. It looks like the drivers are slowly settling in, still within the seconds of each other.
And people were talking about, there's been rumors about the hybrid series being much more eventful. I think this might put a halt to those thoughts.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. I mean, Imola, I was commentating there, and it was pretty straightforward, that race. There wasn't really that much happening. This race is completely different. There's so much action. I mean, I'm just sweating looking at the drivers. It's crazy.
Oh, somebody's gone. It looks like Tim Draper's lost a position to Clank Hughes there. He just got a little bit wide coming out of turn 1. He's just been a sitting duck there. I think he made some positions up in the beginning, but then you have drivers like Ormus and Clank Hughes, notoriously fast drivers, and it's hard to defend against them because they know where they're going to attack.
Yeah.
They're planning that a couple laps ahead. They're just sit behind you watching and seeing where your weak spots are. There's a good train here from about 5th through 8th. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to make any moves, but that group is kind of falling back at about the same rate.
Yeah, it's they all have very similar pace.
I'll tell you what, Martin might have a run here on Jans.
Oh yeah, he's very close.
He went a little bit wide and tried to peek outside. Oh, Jans has had a bad exit.
That's a very good exit from Martin.
You know, that I see what Martin's trying to do here.
Yeah.
Yep, he gets the better exit. It's smart because everyone who's defended on the
dangerous.
inside line.
This is dangerous, going too wide.
Oh.
I don't like this.
This is exactly what happened between Jack Smith and as Martin goes a little bit wide. He gets the position though.
Ooh.
Oh, they've touched. Oh, and Martin's in the wall.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
No.
Oh,
No,
just a slight contact. And, oh, that is so unfortunate. Again,
And
Martin having a lot of bad luck.
capitalize.
The Philip Bowl goes off as well.
Oh, no.
Oh, that is so unfortunate.
And Ormus is making a pass for the lead here on Jans. Jans might have, I don't know if he has damage or if he's just lost a lot of pace from the possible accident we had there. It's Maxi, and he might be able to get... Jans might lose 2 positions here.
Yeah, I wonder if he got some damage from that. Could be some wing damage. Oh, and Maxi goes for a big lunge on the
Wow, and he just pulls it off. Oh no, and Jans is off. He spun a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like it could be some damage that's holding him down.
He's not that type of driver. He's either overheated the tires or something.
Yeah.
He's definitely got a problem.
You can tell that there's
he's
no
off.
grip.
Look at that. He's off again. Paul Megler takes up another position.
It could be the combination of wing damage and overheated tires, and that's a very bad place to come back on the track. A couple of drivers having to.
And guess who's back up for possibly a clean sweep here?
Yeah,
is Ormus.
This is just what I expected. People up the front fighting too much, making mistakes, having contact, losing a lot of time, and that just allows Ormus, who has had a clean race again. He hasn't done any mistakes. He hasn't had any contact. Just clean overtakes. He's taking his time. He's not going for any stupid moves. And there he is, back in P1 again.
It's been the same with Maxi. He may not be the fastest driver on the track this weekend. He qualified, I believe, like P6 or P7, but he's kept his nose clean the entire time. He made a good pass there on the last lap, nice little bit of a dime bob on Jans, but he's kept his nose clean. And sure, he might not have the fastest times around this track right now, but he's sitting in P2. So it's been a smart move between him and Ormus to just kind of let them fight it out up front and let it all settle out, and it just worked out in their favor today. I'll tell you who's on the move is Clank Hughes. Just sets a nice 1:18 time. Here we go again in the same corner.
Yep,
they're going to go too wide again. I don't know why the drivers really...
Maxi's not going to back out from that situation.
He's not. He's definitely not. Clank Hughes is pretty level-headed though.
These are two drivers who've con competed for a championship title in the hybrids already, so they're not new to each other. But to be fair, they've always kept it somewhat fair between each other. They're very similar drivers, I think.
Now this is just a shame for multinational corporate conglomerate with Jans falling so far back there. He was up in the lead and he's down to P10. That was some very needed points.
Yeah,
that
also
they could have had this weekend.
Yeah, also it's again a very bad weekend going forward. I believe Mercedes Motorsports might take the lead in the constructors after this, with Wormus possibly getting 2 wins this weekend.
And he knew he needed to be strong here to get points, and he's done exactly that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think the mistakes from leaning forward, guys, is it just bad luck, or do you think it's just do you think they're feeling the pressure? I mean, they are defending the Constructors' Championship title and the Drivers' title. Do you think they're feeling the pressure now?
I mean, they're very good drivers, but there's a point where I believe everyone starts to feel a little bit of the heat. They know, as Maxi gets a little bit loose. Sorry, this is a good run here from Clank. I don't know if Maxi's going to back out of this. He's not.
Yeah,
smart move there from Clank Hughes.
Yeah, he knows Maxi's not going to back out from that.
Clank knows he has the pace. Clank has shown that he's been good all weekend. He's had some bad luck, of course, but can he get it here? Maxi has a little bit of a different line than everyone else coming out of that last corner. It works on the inside. He's able to dive bomb, but he does go a little bit wide on that exit, and I think Clank Hughes has spotted that with the way that he's taking it.
Yeah, there's a minute to go in the race. So I believe that's this lap and next lap, and then we're done with this race. So if Clank Hughes wants to get P2, he needs to get it done on this lap, possibly.
Clank, he knows. I'm sure he's feeling the pressure as they go too wide here. Oh my!
Yeah, again on this corner, I don't like it at all. It's very close from the drivers again. Even slight contact from Maxi
there as well.
will just throw Clank Hughes straight into the gravel.
Jack might have been telling Maxi there to watch out, because this is the same thing that happened to him early in that race. That corner is just very dangerous in terms of having 2 lines that are very quick. Drivers get to pick.
Yeah, they're kind of one of those lines where you take the inside and then you drift out wide. So when you're going too wide, you just don't. The car on the inside doesn't slow down enough, so they tend to drift out too much and they hit the car on the outside. As Maxi's trying to go through the inside of Clank Hughes.
This is very close.
Final lap, and is that traffic up ahead? That is Alex Cochran.
Ormus has won the race. The time ran out. As Clank Hughes defends.
Right, okay. On my screen it said final lap, but yeah, you're correct. The race.
Yes. The race is over. It was a little bit confusing. I was wondering when Ormus crossed the line if that was going to be the end or not. I think he got it right before the time.
Yeah.
And that was close.
That's
so
it. That's
that was the position.
That's a very good performance from Ormus Rees, getting 2 wins in this weekend. That is very good from him indeed. We can move down.
Forward was able to get that P2 there at the end. That was very good for them this weekend. They really needed to recover that.
Yeah, very exciting. This is a very exciting race, I must say. I mean,
Paul recovers to finish 4th. That was good.
Yeah, this was like Imola times 100. Yeah, probably the most amount of action I've seen this season from either of the series.
There's definitely a couple of drivers I'm going to want to talk to after this race. Jack Smith being one of them. He's had a very unlucky weekend. He's been very strong in pace, but a couple drivers have just not been able to convert their pace this weekend, and that's going to sting going down the line.
Yeah, indeed. Do you want to move up to the interview post-race channel?
Yes.
Well, let's see. Who do we have first?
We
They're
have
going
Maxi and Quizno.
Do you want to talk to one of them first? I'll try and get hold of Jack Smith.
Yeah, go ahead and we'll get Maxi in here, and we'll ask him what was going on.
Let's see if we can get Maxi in here. As I do not have the ability to move people in. Give me a second. I'm gonna go down there.
I'll send him a message.
And in that sort of instant, hello.
I went from first to last.
Max.
Um,
Maxi, can you move up?
We can get Ormus. All right, well,
There we go.
talk to Maxi here.
hello.
Maxi, good second race. Yeah, it was just survival out there, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think both races went well considering my sort of issues physically. I have a bit of a limp right now. My right leg isn't really that good.
Yeah, you had a little bit of an injury before the race this weekend, but you were still able to convert in the second race. What was your strategy after seeing everyone just take each other out, or there was just so much contact up at
Well,
the front?
that was the thing. That's how I gained. I mean, I think first lap I started seventh in the second race, and after 4 or 5 turns I was in second place. So it was also a lot of luck again, like last race. The people just not being careful at the start. You know, I've been in Trout League for long enough to know. I just hug the inside line and hope you don't get taken out. That's at the start. It happens, you know, especially in the when the grid is reversed. You know, it's pace difference makes it bunched up. But it was later in the race where I got a bit frustrated actually, because I tried overtaking Yanis. I couldn't. It was actually very difficult to overtake. And I think then Martin overtook me, and they had that crash where they came together. It sort of slowed me down and allowed Ormas to pass for the lead. So that wasn't ideal, to be honest. I think I could have won had that not happened, or at least, you know, sort of I think the top three would have remained the one it was at that point. So Yanis, Martin, and me.
The top four of you in that second race were very close in pace, and you guys were starting to pull away. But as you guys started to battle there, was it in the back of your mind that Ormus was coming up through the field?
Yeah, instantly, because I looked behind and I saw him in sixth, and he was as I looked, he was overtaking Kaz. So I was like, oh no, oh no, he's coming, you know.
As your team boss says in the chat that he's still very pleased with your results, so you can't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm definitely happy. Second podium for the
Mito. Sorry, just trying to play around with the stream. So Maxi, that was a really good performance from you. Very solid.
Thank you.
Who was the other Vermin driver?
Jack Smith.
All right, he was very unlucky in this race.
I don't know what happened, but I've seen the positions, and you know, considering his pace was much faster, he was about 4 tenths quicker than me generally in practice. So that's kind of very sad to see.
Yeah. So Maxi, one more question, just what I want to ask out of curiosity, knowing that you drive both in the hybrid league and in the Formula 3 league. How hard is it to you as a driver, coming from the fast hybrid cars down to these Formula 3 cars? Is it hard transfer? Is it how is it for you?
Well,
How difficult is it to transfer from the hybrids to the Formula 3s?
it is different, but not in the driving itself, more in the style of racing. So instead, there's no strategy, it's just a sprint race. You're trying to just finish first. There's no saving tires, there's no, you know, do I do a one stop? Do I do a two stop? It's just racing. Also, the field is much closer here because it's just the way the car works. So that means, you know, you need to choose your battles. You know, in a hybrid race, I might have one or two instances where I meet someone else on track, but here it's, you know, it's everywhere. You've seen it. I mean, I battled what 4 or 5 people in just the span of 20 minutes. So it's just different. It's a different challenge.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Thanks for the interview. We're gonna see if we can get a hold of your teammate Jack Smith and try and get a. We're gonna try and get his point of view of what happened in the race.
Yeah, we'll take Ormus next here. Ormus, 2 for 2. You got the clean sweep this weekend.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, I wasn't really expecting the second race win, but I guess these battles, you know, there was mayhem all over the track, and I'm really surprised I even made it to the finish cleanly. But yeah, race one was I had a good start and I got away cleanly, and at one point I was struggling a bit, but wasn't that big of a problem because they were battling behind me and losing time. But I was able to pull myself together in the end.
Yeah, the first race you were very clean. I think second and third spun out on the first corner, so everyone else was just fighting behind you as you were able to drive off. But for that second race, as you were moving your way up the field, what was going through your mind as you were catching? Because they were all fighting. I don't know if you could see from your point of view, but the top four were very close in pace. Did you think that you would have them by the end, or were you just pushing at maximum?
Yeah, basically I wasn't really thinking if am I gonna catch him or not. I was just in the mindset of I'm gonna do my best and see what happens. And if I was in overtaking distance, I was aiming for the chicane in sector 3 because everyone was losing time there. And if you follow too close, you can't carry any speed. So I purposely held back on the straight, and so I could carry more speed through the chicane to pass into the next hairpin.
Now, is that going through your mind all the time, as in, because we see as we watch on board with you a lot, that you're planning where your overtake moves are more so than some of the other drivers. It seems like you always seem to come to a spot where you can make a safe pass rather than being extremely risky.
Yeah, I guess it all comes down to how the front driver handles certain corners. I really it all happens in a split second, I suppose. But I think through before the race. I think of all the possible overtaking locations for a safe overtake, and if a driver in front of me creates that window, I go for it. But even if there's a place where I wouldn't overtake and the window is there, I'm still gonna go for it. But I'm just not gonna go like all out. I'm gonna go see safely so I can still finish the race. But I did do one very dangerous overtake on Magzire into the hairpin. I almost lost it. I mean chicane. But yeah, overall I got a good race in race 2. But I was able to avoid all the mayhem. So there was luck involved as well because I got 2 positions thanks to a collision between Maxi and Jaap, I think. Or was it? No, it could have been Martin. I'm not sure. It was Daci.
There was a couple of accidents. I believe everyone in the top 5 had a little bit of an accident with each other. Your closest rival in qualifying, Jack Smith, ended up getting taken out in both races. So you were kind of in a league of your own this weekend.
Yeah, but really don't know what would have happened because Clank got taken out as well. Wait, or did he spin on his own? I don't know that, but he would have been a big problem for me definitely because he did come to P2 in the second race.
That's good. Do you have any questions for him, Tommy?
Not really. I mean, there was a very solid race from you, Ormus, in both races, getting 2 wins. Yeah, I don't really have anything to ask on top of that.
Okay, it was a good weekend. Thanks.
Who can we get next?
Who's next? Jack Smith, maybe?
Yeah, that should be an interesting interview. He's had a lot this weekend. Let's get him in here.
Can you message him or?
Yeah, I'm gonna send him a message.
Yeah, that was a very unlucky weekend from him again. Did he get taken out in both races?
Believe so. And here's the man of the hour, Jack Smith.
Hey guys.
Rough weekend. Do you want to give us a rundown from your side? Kind of, we saw both of your incidents live there.
Yeah. So qualifying, maybe one of the best qualifying sessions I've had in F3. Period. So Donington's been like quite a difficult track for me, especially last year when I took out Oscar in the first race. Pretty much lost him the championship. So there's a lot of pressure riding on me in this race. But race one, just lost the rear coming out of T1. No one tapped me or anything. I just lost it myself, which sucked. Obviously, I got really annoyed. So pushing back again, I just lost it again. And that was it. Stuck in the gravel. So I was out of race one. Race two went better at the start. I think I've started P16, and then by the end of the lap, I was in P7. So really good start. And then I was behind Yap and got to the same corner where Oscar got taken out by R2 last year. Exact same instant. Dropped me to the back of the grid.
It was quite an eventful race. You definitely had the pace. Did you think you might have been able to have pole on Ormus? You said you were the first driver to go into the 17s. Did you think you had him then, or was there still more time?
I definitely had more time. I just messed up my last lap. So I think by the T1 I gained half a tenth, and halfway through the lap I was about a tenth up, and I just lost it on one of the corners. So maybe could have had pole. I don't know what time Irma set on quali, but yeah, just really quick times all over. I'm just gutted about the results in the races, really. Wish I didn't make the stupid moves I did, or push too hard, because then we could have got some really good points this week. So,
is that something to take to the next race? Do you think you'll try to like stay a little bit more conservative? Because you definitely had the pace to run at the top of the field. There was just a lot of you guys were making audacious moves there at the end.
Yeah, exactly. I think with next weekend, I'm just going to be way more conservative. It's just not worth the risk of getting put down to the back of the grid, not gaining any points. Because now I'm really set back in the championship because of this, and I didn't actually get any points this weekend. So, yeah, definitely going to be more conservative next weekend.
What did you think about the other drivers? Did you think they were being fair in terms of like defending? What was it like out there on track?
I mean, there's a few incidents that I thought were a bit harsh. Some quite quick, cutouts from when people just sort of swerved in front of me and stuff, which I thought was a bit audacious. But other than that, everything else was clean. It was just my silly mistakes that cost me this weekend.
I think you'll come back stronger though.
Yeah,
you've definitely shown pace.
Yeah, I just need to put it down the track and be more cautious of our drive.
That's all the questions I've got, Tommy.
Yeah, I think you pretty much said it all.
Perfect.
Thanks for the interview, Jack. Hopefully, you're not going to run into the same problems in the next race.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway,
cheers,
we'll see you there.
All right, cheers.
All right.
We've got two more drivers waiting for an interview.
Stefano and Filippo.
We'll grab Philip in here.
Heyo.
Hello, hello. You were pretty consistent this race in all the chaos. We didn't have to shout your name too much in terms of accidents. Was that kind of your plan? Just let everyone else do their thing and just scrape through as they messed up, or?
Yeah, well, for race 2, definitely. I was second to last starting and just let everyone go, because in race 1 there was a huge mess. And basically, because so many people were spinning out during the race, I was trying to get the places by driving a little bit more cautious. But then, unfortunately, it happened for me as well when I think it was Martin rejoined the track. It was all right, but I had to take a different line into the corner, and therefore just didn't think of it and went on to throttle it too quickly and just spun as well. I think in the end I got P8 or P9, so that's okay. But yeah, race 1 was a mess.
Race 1 definitely seemed like it was more survival. I think we lost half the field.
Yeah, I believe there's
that
about
race.
5 retirements.
Yeah, me including, because I spun and I think it was Nick. He had nowhere to go and I couldn't do anything, so he ran into my rear and had a broken suspension as well, so I had to escape back to the pits.
Oh yeah, that was very unfortunate. I saw that incident, but
Also,
there's nothing you could have done there.
yeah, also about race 1, I was still annoyed about qualifying because I was so much faster on my last lap. I could have been P5 and people were just really slow into the last corner, and then well, I was hoping the last second and someone makes room for me to go through because I was 6/10 up in my lap. So yeah, that's unfortunately a report, but other than that, I tried to move on in race 1, but I still was still in my head. So yeah, I made more mistakes than in race 2.
What do you think, setup-wise, was the right way to go? Do you think that you made the right choice in terms of, like, I guess some people it looked like we saw were running low aero and they were able to defend themselves on the straight, but they were just holding everyone up
Yeah,
behind.
I saw the stream when Tim Draper was all over Yarp. I went for a little bit more downforce as well, just to be more stable in the race, especially at the end of the race, to be more consistent. But yeah, it was definitely a lot harder to overtake there. So maybe I should have gone for a little bit less wing there. But yeah, it didn't really matter for me because race 1 was fairly short for me, and race 2 there wasn't any incident where I could have overtaken with low wings anyway.
Yeah, anything else, Jake?
No, that'll pretty much do it.
Alright, thanks for streaming, guys. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
You too. Have a good night.
Got one driver left, I believe.
Yeah, there's still
Quizno.
Stefano still waiting for an interview. Maybe he can give us a good view on all the chaos that was happening at the back of the field. Welcome.
Quizno.
Oh, the shoes on the other foot. I'm getting interviewed today instead of giving them.
Yes, well, you're a guy that we want to see. We caught you on board. I think you went off and almost ended up in the barriers there. What happened?
Skipping to race 2, huh?
Yeah, that's what we caught on stream. So it's the first obvious question.
My one moment. Okay, so the problem with having 2 races. Before you start the second race, the last time you felt the car, it was a lot lighter, and the tires were all worn out, and it was a different car. Now the tires are cold, and it's over. I think I was overfueled. I knew everyone behind me on the grid is at least a second or 2 faster than me, so I thought I got to have a good start and get away from these guys as fast as possible. So I attacked that first corner, and it just felt like a boat, and just went straight instead of turning, and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I did that. First to last. Horrible.
What was it like? Were you just trying to survive out there in terms of just? I mean, there was so much chaos, I'm sure, in front of you in both races because you ended up.
In race 2, there was no chaos yet. That was the start of it. I'm like, okay, there's a bunch of guys behind me. I better get moving quick because it's gonna get ugly, and got a little ahead of myself. The first race, there was some chaos. I did get to capitalize on some of that chaos. I think I qualified like P14 or something like that, or 15. I don't remember. But I eventually got up to like P7 in race 1, obviously due to people having incidents. But then I was defending. I can't remember who I was defending against, and the car just spun out. I don't think there was contact. I'll have to check the replay again, but maybe I just did a stupid move trying to defend and I lost control of the car and dropped down to like P12 or something like that. Moved back up to like P10, but it's okay. There were a lot of retirements, so how much does that count?
Yeah,
True.
We noticed a lot of people struggling with oversteer, especially out of the chicane. So, not sure if it's just the track or the setup people are trying to run, but yeah, a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes being done by many of the drivers, actually.
I did have a crash in race 1. I can't remember if it was with Paul Magzire. I can't remember if he was on the same lap as me or if he was a lap down. He spun. I don't know what you would call it. It's before that chicane. It's what would be the DRS zone. He spun and rejoined the track, and I'm like, oh, there's no time to do anything. Went right into him, completely destroyed my front wing. This is towards the end of race 1, and at that point, basically, my tires were cooked. I had no front wing, and I'm like, I just gotta drive safe. Nobody's gonna catch up because there were a few laps down behind me.
Now, were you in a chat with your teammate? We saw that he just kind of got stuck there in practice, I believe it was.
I don't know what happened there. I thought, yeah, he was sitting right before that DRS zone. He was just sitting there making a mess of the gravel.
Oh yeah, he went wide at the start of qualifying and just sat there for the whole session.
And every lap, it was a little distracting, actually. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but we can't escape back to pits anymore, so, what can you do?
You can stop kicking up dust for one. Just turn off the car.
we were wondering if he was going to use you and then try to, like, push him out or whatever, but...
nothing was said. I was trying to get a PB, and I did. On my final lap, I got into the 19s. Not much, but it was... I've been chasing that for a while.
It was a little bit of a weekend to forget for DAC, but is there anything you can take from it going forward in terms of the chaos from this race? Is there any different approach that you think you're going to take, or is it just survival?
My approach is survival, wait for other people to make mistakes, and drive safe so that I can just pick up whatever points I can.
That seems to be the smart way to do it, at least this weekend. You have any other questions, Tommy?
No, I think that's pretty much it, I guess.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right.
Alright, that was a very eventful weekend.
Crazy from our side too. I mean, there was just not a second to take a break, to take a water or anything. It was just 100%.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't give us a break.
It was action all the time. If someone stopped fighting, there was something else happening back somewhere else on the grid. So that was.
And there was some good competition actually. Like everyone was, Ormus could have driven away, but everyone kept it tight and kept it entertaining. So I think that puts to bed any doubt that the hybrid might be more competitive. But it was a good weekend.
I'm 100% sure that the competition is, if it's on the same level, if not even harder, in the Formula 3 series. I mean, people keep downplaying it, but it's. I mean, they've. Feel free to try it. It's not as easy as people think it is.
Very true. Very good words for the next race, which is, I believe, 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
I don't know the track.
Red Bull Ring.
That's a very good track, actually.
Yeah,
that'll be interesting to see.
Very, well, not very similar to Donington, but it has a similar vibe to it, I think. There's a lot of overtaking opportunities, but again, it's if you have contact, you're going to be put into grass or gravel. It doesn't have any big runoff areas except turn 1, I believe. Turn 1 and turn 2, but that's about it.
And there should be an update to the series standings here within a few days to see. I believe Mercedes got a huge haul with Urmas finishing. He's now won 3 of 4 races this season, so he's off to strong form. So I guess we'll have to see if that continues at the Red Bull Ring. And that should
And
do
I
it.
think that, yeah, I think that's it. I want to thank everyone who tuned in for the stream. I want to thank all the drivers who joined us tonight and gave us this amazing action. And I want to thank you, Jake, for amazing commentary, because it would have been completely dead if it was just me alone.
No, it was fun. It was fun. The drivers gave us a good race to enjoy. It was chaos.
Yeah.
And thanks to our sponsors, Uncle Venus. Thank you.
Oh, anyway, I guess we will see you guys next week for the hybrid race and for the F3 race in 2 weeks. That's it.
Ooh.